An armed drone hit the outer shell of Ukraine's Chernobyl nuclear plant early Friday in an attack Kyiv blamed on Russia. While there were no signs of increased radiation, it raised anxiety among European leaders gathered at the Munich Security Conference in Germany on Friday. The meeting focused on the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which will mark 3 years next week.
The threat that I worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor. And what I worry about is the threat from within, the retreat of Europe from some of its most fundamental values, values shared with the United States of America.
But in his address, U.S. Vice President JD Vance mentioned the war on Ukraine only in passing. He repeated calls for Europe to increase defense spending and said that Kyiv and Moscow can come to, quote, a reasonable settlement. Instead, Vance criticized what he said were European governments' censorship of Christian and far-right speech, voicing support for their right-wing anti-immigration parties. He criticized Romania, a NATO ally, for its recent cancellation of presidential election results over evidence of Russian disinformation.
If your democracy can be destroyed with a few $100,000 of digital advertising from a foreign country, then it wasn't very strong to begin with.
German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius slammed Vance's remarks.
He speaks of the annihilation of democracy, and if I have understood him correctly, he is comparing conditions in parts of Europe with those in authoritarian regions. That is not acceptable.
On the sidelines, Vance met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
We need to speak more, to work more, and to prepare the plan how to stop Putin and finish the war. We want peace very much, but we need real security guarantees.
At the White House Thursday, President Donald Trump dismissed Kyiv's NATO membership bid and its desire to win back Russian-occupied territories. Trump said he and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed to begin talks to end the war.
And I think we'll probably end up at some point getting a ceasefire in the not-too-distant future.
Trump's remarks are a repudiation of his predecessor Joe Biden's position to support Ukraine for as long as it takes. The shift was welcomed by Moscow but caused alarm in Europe. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen.
A failed Ukraine would weaken Europe, but it would also weaken the United States.
The ceasefire in Gaza is also a focus. Trump wants to move Palestinians out and take over the enclave, a plan condemned by many leaders gathering in Munich. Patsy, Widakuswara, VOA News, Washington.